Hey friends, Diana here from Garden Love. In case you were wondering when is the best time to harvest your citrus, specifically your lemon from your lemon tree, let's talk about it. Here in Zone 9B, the ideal time is anywhere from November to March, which is late fall to early spring. Some trees can be so loaded with fruit that you might be able to hold on to that fruit a little bit longer into the summer, but eventually your citrus lemons will fall off your tree. So today we're going to harvest this Lisbon lemon, and we're going to see what you want to do to harvest. There is a right way to do it in order to protect your tree from it getting any damage. So you're going to want to get some scissors or some shears, and I'm going to pick this one. You're going to want to cut it right above the lemon. Oh my God. You know what? I want to do a comparison between this one and the Eureka lemon and also the Meyer lemon. But today I just want to talk about when is the right time to harvest. The lemons don't ripen anymore on your countertop. So once you pick them, that is what you're getting. So I would suggest to just pick what you're going to use at the time and just keep coming back for more. It will relieve the tree from stress of maintaining your lemon on the tree. So if you want to make a lemonade, you know, pick I would pick the ones that have the most in one branch, just to give that little branch some relief of the weight, and make your lemonade. And as you need them, you keep coming back for more. When you take the lemon off the branch, like I mentioned, cut it right above the lemon. You're gonna want to be careful that you cut it at an angle so the water doesn't go into the branch. You want to make sure that you protect the integrity of this branches so it can continue to give more buds and more lemons and not get any disease due to the cut. Sometimes when you twist, that works as well, but if you can get some scissors, a knife, or some shears would be the ideal way to harvest your fruit. And what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna squeeze the lemon to see if it's firm, but also it gives you a little bit of squeeze just to see if it's juicy. Sometimes if it hasn't had water in a while, it might be a little dehydrated. So just make sure that you give it water during the time that you're going to be harvesting your lemon, just to ensure that the lemon has a good juicy lemon. Now let's open this up and see what this lemon looks like. This is a Lisbon lemon. I brought a knife here so we can try it. Look at that. This is my first time. Ooh, it is juicy, friends. You guys see that? This is my first time trying a Lisbon lemon. Ooh, it smells amazing. You guys see that? It has no seeds that I can tell. Oh, wow. This smells like a true lemon. Like I have a Eureka lemon, and I'm going to have to really do a comparison because I don't think that the Eureka lemon smells as delicious as this Lisbon tree. This is a tiny little tree that was gifted to me. I made the mistake of putting a cage because I thought the gophers might get to it. I've learned that the gophers do not go for the citrus tree. They mainly go for the stone fruit. So now my biggest regret is putting these cages on the citrus, but live and learn. And I'm glad I am here to tell you, do not put any cages on your citrus trees, only on your stone fruits. Oh my goodness. I really wish that you guys can smell this. Look at how perfect that lemon looks. I'm going to cut a little smaller slice. I'm going to hold my belt, hold it right there, just so I can taste it even easier. I have a belt here that holds my knife, protecting me from getting stabbed. Here, look at that. Oh wow, that's sour, but it has a little tiny bit of sweetness, which I love. It's bearable. Wow, I've been missing out. Lisbon lemon is a way to go. I'm really gonna have to compare these between the Meyer lemon, because the Meyer lemon is so juicy as well. But to me, the Lisbon lemon right now, as my first time smelling it and tasting it, it's the lemon that I remember from childhood. It's the lemon the smell that I connect to lemon. Wow. Oh, that would be so good on a salad. This would be amazing on a lemonade. I can already taste the sugar and the sweetness with this taste. This flavor is so good. There really isn't much to say other than let's recap what we talked about. In order to harvest your citrus, your lemons from your tree, usually here in zone 9B is between late fall and early spring, which is anywhere from November to March. What you're going to want to look to see if it's fully yellowed. Sometimes it retains a little bit of green right next to the stem, and that should be okay to harvest. If you're harvesting earlier in the season, later on in the season, that green is going to completely go away, especially if you live in warm locations like I do in zone 9B. I can pretty much have this tree or any other tree hold its citrus almost all the way till summer, which I have done sometimes. When you take it off the tree, I would suggest to go to the ones that have cluster, so you can give some relief on the branches. And really important that you use some scissors or some shears or even a knife so you have a clean cut, so the tree really doesn't struggle with healing that cut. And also it can continue to produce years and years to come. Instead of focusing on healing a cut, it's going to focus on creating buds and creating flowers and eventually creating these amazing lemons. Let's see what else is there to do. When you harvest them, make sure that you squeeze them to see which one feels a little bit, they're going to feel firm, but to see which one has a little bit of a tug, a little bit of squishy. Although with this Lisbon lemon, I have to say that they're pretty firm, so I had a hard time telling which one to go for. I went for the prettiest one, and that was this one, and it's pretty hard to squeeze on, and you saw how juicy it was. That flavor is amazing. So if you have a citrus and you're just not sure when to harvest, as soon as the color turns yellow, as soon as the fruit seems like the proper size for that variety. So different varieties are going to have different lemon sizes, and you're just going to have to know the fruit, look it up. This one I would say is about, let's see here, probably about almost 3 inches, 2.5 inches, and I think that's about the mature size for this lemon. And Meyer lemons can get a lot bigger. Even Eureka lemons can get a lot bigger. So you're just going to have to be familiar with your variety. Once you harvest these can be in the counter for quite some time. But if you put them in the refrigerator, they will last even longer. If you have an abundance of lemons on your tree and you're afraid that your branches are going to break, take some weight off the tree. Put them in your counter. If you feel like you're not going to use them in time, put them in your fridge, and they will last a long time. If you don't want to do neither of those, you don't have the space, because I have a tiny space, so I totally get that. Go ahead and juice them and freeze them. I think that's the next best thing. Other than that, friends, I'm so glad that you guys were here to taste this lemon with me, because it's my first time. I'm super excited. I always use this as mulch pretty much, not compost, because those it will basically, the acid in the lemon will kill a worm. So I just throw it out in the yard where my trees are at. I hope this video was enjoyable, informative, and it helped you to not be afraid to go out there and harvest those lemons, those oranges, any citrus that you have out there. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video. I'm definitely going to compare this with a Meyer lemon and a Eureka lemon. So let's go ahead and do that next. Come on.